Leets, it's guaranteed I'll get to play my class. Who wants to have a sniper on their team? Everyone puts their hand up. Yeah, that's smart, because having a sniper on your team means you have somebody who can pull off some very clutch resurrections. They can help you not fail runs, which is why, dude, sniper's super good. It's very underrated. As you can see here, who wants to actually play a sniper for the team? Nobody. Nobody wants to play sniper here, which is unfortunate. Yes, for whatever reason, when it comes to siege mode, I feel like the only classes I see are vanguards, bulwarks, tacticals. So sometimes I'll see heavies, but yeah, when it comes to, you know, snipers and assaults, you never see either of those classes ever. It's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. When it comes to siege mode, I mean, there's every now and then you'll see somebody like that. I've seen a fair amount of snipers in operations, and I feel like I've seen a fair amount of assault players in operations, but when it comes to siege mode, it's normally some sort of combination between vanguard, bulwark, tactical, and heavy. It's normally those guys, which is, you know, the thing about sniper that I think people don't really get is sniper is very versatile. If there's a bad situation that is on the board, like if there's a Carnifex, a Ravener, and a Zoanthrope or something like that, the sniper is great at taking out priority targets. The sniper can basically two-shot the Zoanthrope without any effort, which is great. Yeah, any sort of Ravener or Lictor, Terminator, close encounter, extremist snipers are also really good against, because snipers have melee builds. They can use bolt carbines. Obviously, you can just parry and gunstrike them, not to mention with exacting focus, with that gunstrike, you're going to get more damage. And in the case, even if you have the bolt sniper, you can do a parry gunstrike into a headshot with the bolt sniper, which is a perfect way to take out extremists. One of my favorite way to do it, because not only do you get the buff from exacting focus, but with the parry, you actually debuff the enemy to get more damage out of that sniper shot. I seriously enjoy sniper a lot. Now, I do understand where people kind of got sick of it when it was like super powerful when we first saw Purification. I still don't understand why people don't really appreciate the class, though. Maybe we've seen a lot of sniper when it was good and everyone just got tired of it or something. But yeah, when it comes to siege mode, I actually kind of like the idea of having a sniper on our team. Not to mention squad renewal is incredibly powerful, and it's kind of, everyone's just been talking about unmatched zeal and pretty much any, you know, bonds of brotherhood, focus restoration, secure stockpile. These type of perks are very powerful as well. But I think squad renewal is one of the team perks that are starting to become extremely underrated. Squad renewal, if you don't know, is a team perk where if you get a headshot, you can get cooldown back. You can basically reduce your cooldown with headshot eliminations. It's very, very good. It's kind of crazy that we don't see too many snipers in the game as is. Yeah, and not to mention, since the last time I played sniper, I wanted to point out that Medicae Adept is incredibly underrated for operations, especially Absolute 2.0, and high waves in siege mode, because it means the sniper can get quicker reses. So the sniper potentially doesn't even have to use camo to get a res. They can just walk up to you, get you back up. And I think that goes a very far way. Now, obviously, with any sort of resurrection team synergies, it goes very well with Bonds of Brotherhood. So a team like Tactical Sniper Heavy, I think, to be honest, could be very, very powerful. I've kind of been mentioning that I think Sniper is a little bit of a better support class than Bulwark, which I think is a hot take, obviously. But I still think the fact that Sniper can easily bring your teammates back up without any sort of use of a skill. See, like in the case of Bulwark, to resurrect their teammates, you need Banner. And for Sniper, they can just do it very fast. They can just snap, and you resurrected somebody. I don't think people appreciate that kit as much as we should. Sniper is a great DPS and support class, and I think their support qualities are aging very well into the heightened difficulties of the game. So, okay, let's go into the comments here. Let's see why nobody likes Sniper for whatever reason. Nobody wants to play Sniper. But, dude, yeah, to be honest, Sniper is one of those classes that are incredibly underrated. For whatever reason, when it comes to Siege mode, it's like the Assault class and Sniper are just sat right next to each other, where Snipers, that's how I beat hard mode, basically. That's how I beat Wave 15 on hard mode, was with the LF Sniper. It's very, very powerful. People who don't like playing sniper as a sniper should look into some of the close quarter combat builds. At least I believe that's what this is for. It is busted for boss damage and not difficult to learn. With the correct perks for ammo, the Relic auto variant of the Bolt Carbine absolutely shreds face while shooting from the hip. You basically only need to aim on extremist and terminus targets. Best of all, it's a top tier gun, if not the best for multiple classes. Yeah, the Bolt Carbine is very, very good, especially for siege mode. See, when it comes to siege mode, everything is close quarter. Like in operations, sometimes you have opportunities to, take advantage of the level and its range of a sniper. You can just, really figure that out. And basically, you can get some nice headshots, take out some enemies before you engage anybody. That's all good. You can do that in siege mode a little bit, but in siege mode, once enemies start spawning, they go directly at you. So something like the Bolt Carbine does go a far way into siege mode. And yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with this. I'm just not a huge fan of firing from the hip. Something just is much more satisfying with like lining up a good shot for sniper and getting a good headshot. I like that a lot more. However, it is very hard to argue. Melee sniper is extremely powerful as well. Sniper has a lot of good builds. This is why it's really weird that this class doesn't get played more often, because it probably has the widest range of builds, I guess outside of tactical, but a lot of times you're still, even though you have a stalker bolt rifle, you're still going to use battle focus, you know what I mean? For the sniper, sometimes if you're using the Bolt Carbine, you can build into melee, which is really good. If you're using the LF, there are LF perks that help, that helps out the ammo capacity in that sense. The Bolt Carbine, the Bolt Sniper. The Bolt Sniper is still very, very powerful. All of this does play into pattern of excellence, where if you get 3 headshots, you can get a grenade. So with the Bolt Carbine and the Instigator, that's probably the easiest ways to do that. So if you want to do it, if you want to get grenades back really easy, Instigator from ranged, and then Bolt Carbine from close up. Why does no one play Sniper? It's by far one of the better classes currently, and it's not exactly hard to play. And then we have a response underneath this that says, I have bad aim. Okay, so in that sense, as far as, aiming in this game, I think there are certain spots that can be kind of tough to put in a crit shot. Mainly, sometimes it's like the terminus enemies just swinging themselves around. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get headshots, but there's opportunities. What I've been kind of working with recently with Sniper, I've been playing with a controller recently, because on my new system, it's just a little bit easier. I don't like laptop keyboards, and I have to wait a little bit before I can get a new keyboard for my laptop. And ultimately, when it comes to that, I would just rather use a controller. In this game, aim assist is very friendly. I don't think it's like this game has a lot of enemies on your screen. There's a lot of enemies on the table. So being able to hit headshots, as important as it is, isn't going to be like, if you had aim assist in this game, or like an aimbot, like if you had a legitimate aimbot in this game, it doesn't really change much. It doesn't really do much. So the fact that if you're playing Sniper, maybe you try it out with a controller so you can get some aim assist. I have played Sniper with mouse and keyboard as well. I do think that's more fun, 100%. But yeah, like just currently with my system and my setup right now, it's just a lot easier. Just put on a controller and then kick back a little bit, and then, get some headshots that way. The only enemy I would say that can kind of be a pain for aiming is the Disc Shaman. But still, I think with Sniper, if you just hit one headshot, they're done. So it's really not. It could be kind of a pain to miss some shots on a Disc Shaman, but you only need to hit one shot. So unless there's like 6 Disc Shamans, you should be okay. And again, for Sniper, you can still get you can still get up pretty close. You can get some perfect dodges, get some gun strikes, get some parries. But still, with Disc Shamans, I do think my favorite strategy for that is the Bolt Sniper. Hey, but you know what? The Bolt Carbine's pretty good. Dude, the Marksman Bolt Carbine is so good. You just don't see it very often either. That's another weapon I think I might just bring out on Sniper to see how it is. But I brought it out recently with Tactical, and it was very, very powerful. My guess is that it does take a while to be the powerhouse. Early perks and weapons are kind of underwhelming, but once you get rolling, it's a snowball down a hill. Dude, the early perks are like the best part about Sniper. Purification, you get at level 6, I think. Their first team perk gives you extra damage. That's really good. But yeah, their first three perks, I play a lot of Sniper, and even off the top of my head, I'm like, oh, so you do get more ammo. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good early perk. But normally when it comes to early sniper, Purification is the play. Dude, yeah, Purification was great for leveling. When I was leveling sniper, whenever I hit level 6, I was jumping directly into Ruthless and Lethal. Because I had relic weapons, I was fine. As long as I had DPS, I was good to go. And Purification would just clear up the rest of the problems I was having. Like, honestly, you just, if sniper is getting damage, boom, Purification, you heal yourself. That was incredibly useful for leveling. I didn't have to worry about stims too much. But yeah, and then not to mention, I do think that you can get some early melee damage, but that's not too important. For leveling, just getting some extra headshot damage and Purification was really all I needed. That, and a lot of the time, even with headshots, you're just setting up bigger enemies to be execution ready for your team. People want the glory and the rip and tear factor, hence why Bulwark and Heavy are so popular. You know what? This is an interesting theory. I was actually kind of quick to dismiss this one in my head, but now that I'm thinking about it, it does feel a little unsatisfying to just, like, make sure you get a headshot on a Majorist, and then it's like they're just sitting there executionable. And it's like you don't really have any reason to execute them or finish them off. You would rather just give it to their teammates for whatever they need to trigger, whatever perks they have for that. But like recruitment does give you a reason to finish off executionable majors if you have a missing armor piece. Not to mention, you should probably finish them off anyway so they don't wake up from the executionable state. So yeah, definitely, I can kind of understand that, but even though with Sniper, I still get a fair amount of executions, but at the end of the day, when it comes to Sniper, I'm here to get headshots. I'm not too worried about getting to, like, you know, I'm not too worried about entertaining myself with executions. However, with Bulwark and Heavy, it's kind of hard to argue how much more destructive they feel, because Power Whirl, Heavy stomps, not to mention Bulwark has Plasma Pistol, Heavy has Plasmas as well. Yeah, they can do a lot of like straight up destruction. Whereas with the Sniper, I mean, the Sniper has grenades, it's pretty good. Not to mention, didn't Sniper get a new prestige perk that increases the radius of their grenades? I have to try that out still. They're just in the thick of things. Yeah, Bulwark and Heavy, yeah, 100%. I can understand where playing Bulwark and Heavy is more exciting. That's fine. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe Sniper is just not a very exciting class to play. If that's the case, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I do kind of agree in a sense. I feel like there's more panache in Sniper. You know what I mean? Like, it's more accurate and precise. Some flair. You want to make sure you camo at the right times and everything like that. But if you're actually looking for a character who can just, like, continuously be in the middle of the fight over and over again, that's not really Sniper's deal. Sniper, Sniper only has 2 armor pieces. Bulwark and Heavy are much better for that. I don't know, man. My experience playing with snipers on the team as a guy who prefers to get up close and personal is that the average Sniper player is great at trash picking and denying your finishers when you really need them for the contested health armor recovery. Holy cow. This guy's been playing with some unfortunate snipers. Dude, sheesh, man. I don't know if snipers have that reputation to just steal executions and stuff. But they I can kind of see that happening. Unfortunately, I can kind of see that happening. But when I play Sniper, I am definitely very cautious with what enemies are executionable and which ones should my teammates execute. 100%. I think Vanguards steal more executions than anybody. You know what? No, I did have a... Oh, geez. Nope. I did have... I'm pretty sure it was a Vanguard. But recently, I did have a pretty devastating... somebody stole my execution situation. I do think that was a Sniper, but it's not like they picked off the enemy. They walked up and executed the enemy. It was rough. It was within a wave of spore mines. So I don't know. Maybe there was some protection there. Maybe they were trying to protect themselves, but regardless, I got hit by a whole bunch of spore mines, had a full health and contested health, and I went to go and execute a Biovore, and it was stolen from me by a Sniper. That was unfortunate, but that's not that's not something I see from Sniper players all the time, to be honest. Most Sniper players are kind of hesitant with finishing off executionable enemies because of what this person is detailing as far as contested health. Not to mention if they have something like Unmatched Zeal and they need healing or something. Yeah, you got to be a little bit careful with what enemies you are finishing off. If I had $1 for every time I wasn't able to recover HP because of a friendly sniper shot, the enemy I was about to finish off, I'd be able to afford the Ultramarine Champion skin for Heavy, which they need to do something about that. The Ultramarine Champion skin for Heavy I would buy on console right now. I just don't want to buy the $100 version. That's crazy. I was going, like, honestly, this is the one champion skin they definitely need to put into the game a little bit more accessible. That would be nice. All right. If I had $1 for every time I wasn't able to recover HP because of a friendly sniper shot, that is pretty unfortunate. So this is kind of funny. Since we've been talking about the assault class, I've been getting some comments that were a little bit weird with like how I'm talking about the assault class. They're like, "Oh man, you're the more you criticize the assault class, the worse people think it is, or something." And I think ultimately maybe there's some truth into that. And yeah, maybe I should tone it back, I guess, for assault criticisms. We already mentioned the issues with the class, you know? And see, the thing is, it feels like Sniper has its own sort of negative stereotype in the sense where I guess they're just stealing executions from people. For me, that was more of a Vanguard thing, but I did have a recent experience where a Sniper did steal my execution. So, yeah, maybe these negative stereotypes kind of, you know, change people's perspective a little bit when it comes to playing with these classes. Like if people queue in with an assault player, they just immediately think they're going to be bad and keep going down all the time. That's just not reality. So now with that said, it's definitely hard to play that class against chaos and everything like that. But when it comes to snipers, I do think most snipers are trying their best to make sure you have executions. I don't think they're stealing executions from you as often as you think, but maybe there is a specific sniper who just didn't care. And I think in that case, that's unfortunate. That's battle awareness. I feel like when it comes to battle awareness, snipers should be at the top of the list for people who should be aware of like what is actually going on. If there's unmatched zeal, if there's an executionable extremist for your teammates, yeah, probably don't just finish off that enemy for no reason. But okay, I mean, as far as where I've seen people actually criticize the class, they just, you know, I think it just lacks the upfront nature of being able to survive like large enemy waves. However, it does have a good melee build. It does have a good bolt carbine build. So I'm not too sure if that's a good reason. This guy just doesn't like sniper players stealing his executions. That's fine. That's, you know, definitely that's reasonable in a sense. If somebody steals your executions, it's not great. That's definitely not great for team synergy. You guys can definitely have a teammate go down because of that. But like when it comes into my experience with sniper players, I don't see them doing that as often. So I really don't see sniper players stealing that many executions. There's just like one circumstance for me, and then aiming. Yeah, there are some enemies that are a pain to aim at, but the bulk of them are pretty easy to hit, their crit shots and everything like that. But yeah, as far as aim assist in this game, I do think it's very helpful. You can definitely get aim assist on PC if you're using a controller, which I think aim assist in this game's fine, but you're still using aim assist on other classes. You still have to aim with other classes. I don't understand why that's like something that could really hold you back from this class. But yeah, it does remain to be said that there isn't really that many sniper players in siege mode. I see like a few in operations sometimes. The knife was the hardest part for me once I switched to shoulder bash and balance. After bouncing between all three, trying to find one that doesn't feel it got a lot better. Close quarter combat, carbine, Inferno sniper, slaps with the right perks. Dude, I've been saying Inferno sniper is good for a while. Everyone just hates the Inferno pistol. I don't know. Bolt sniper doesn't feel that bad once you get versatility and the ammo on secondary kill to keep ammo up. I've noticed it absolutely bodies throats, and since there's no charge time like the Las Fazul, it's great for quick scoping and melee as part of your knife combo. Yes, exactly. Yes. 100% true. As far as the combat knife goes, the shoulder bash is definitely something I need to utilize more. I was using the shoulder bash with the chainsword recently, which is pretty good, but that was mostly just because I was trying to put out some charge attacks. I'm not too sure if shoulder bash counts, but I was just trying to put out some heavy attacks. Now, with the combat knife specifically, when it comes to sniper, I definitely just kind of swing it. But shadow stab, Shadow Stab, if you're in camo, is very good. You can definitely get some extra melee damage from that, from a perk, which is great. It's basically you get like, what is it, 125% more melee damage when it's your melee attack that breaks camo. So you can go to camo, set up Shadow Stab, and get a nice, huge damage bonus from a charge attack. That feels really good. Shadow Stab Sniper is probably one of the most fun sniper builds I've played. It's just, it's a little bit tricky. I haven't really played melee sniper in a while. I just really enjoy the bolt sniper. It's a very fun weapon, and as they mentioned here, yes, it's very, very good against the zone throps. It's very good against disc shamans as well. The LF I have a hard time against disc shamans with. Sometimes, yeah, they just move by the time I'm ready to fire that weapon. But the LF still is what I've used for hard siege mode. And I think I also had the heavy bolt pistol, I believe, or maybe the Inferno pistol. But yeah, regardless, the LF is great at clearing out waves. And don't get me wrong, the LF is definitely capable of one-shotting disc shamans as well. So as long as you're hitting headshots with the weapons you are using, you should be fine. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting that you really don't see snipers as often. I feel like snipers are definitely very clutch. They can save your runs with their support kits, or even just like one part of their support kit. But yeah, anyway, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this. Do you play Sniper recently? Do you play Sniper in Siege mode? And how effective have you felt with the class? Have you seen the class steal your executions recently? Have you also, seen snipers in Siege mode or played with other snipers? And how you feel about that? Now, overall, we all know snipers are powerful, but it is kind of funny. It does remain to be said that sometimes I feel like when it comes to Siege mode, people treat Sniper as if they're like have bad matchups like Assault, when it really doesn't. It doesn't have any bad matchups in the entire game, outside of being completely swarmed by gaunts. That depending on what variant of the combat knife you have, that could be a lot of chip damage, and considering you only have 2 armor, getting swarmed by enemies in any case as Sniper is pretty dangerous. So but yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this. Thanks for watching.